Hi, this is Tony Poulos at CommunicAsia2017 in sunny Singapore. Today I have with me Michael Lindholm, who is the VP of IoT at Telenor Group. Michael, welcome.
Thank you so much, Tony.
Telenor Group seems to be highlighting this IoT business. It has been for a while. What exactly is your role there, and what are you doing in Singapore at this event?
We've been here at this event a few years. We find this very engaging and relevant forum to be at. This year specifically, we had the opportunity to speak with Scania. As a group, we have a regional office now in Singapore, actually moved into a new office in Tanjong Pagar. So we're very happy to be there. Otherwise in the region, our footprint in the region is Pakistan, Bangladesh, still India, Malaysia, Thailand and Myanmar. So roughly 80% of our customer base is in Asia, so we feel like an Asian company now, more or less.
Now IoT in Asia is, and all those countries you mentioned are very different levels of emerging economies, of course, and development. How is IoT fitting into their scheme of things? I mean, it must be a very big job to introduce them to IoT firstly, and then who is jumping on the bandwagon?
Oh, I think you're perfectly correct there. I think people talk about Asia and IoT, it's about 60% of the world population. I think the beauty of those emerging markets, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, they're jumping. I mean, they're standing there. They don't have the old technology and they don't disrupt in the same way, but they're eager to leapfrog what we have done in other markets. So I think it's much more agile and using existing technology, not waiting for the next shift, but testing what's out there and really want to learn from what has been working in Europe and the US.
When we talk about IoT, of course, we're talking about a broad range of components, sensors, etc. What do you think is going to be the lead area for this part of the world? What will be the hottest thing in IoT to start with?
I think it will follow a lot of other markets. I think transportation is going to be a big area. It is already a big area. Transportation for car sharing. I'm hoping also for the two-wheeler segment to be a big part of it. We see the bike segment already. I mean, we have Mobike, O-Bike here in Singapore. So transportation is going to be a big one. Then I believe agriculture also, of course. It's a different market because it's a lot of smaller farmers, but obviously it's a big part of the economy in this part of the world. So those two I believe have a big impact.
I heard today about a technique called platooning, where Scania trucks, you have one driver and then a series of trucks behind driverless trucks, you know, in a platoon. What's the story behind that?
Well, I think that's part of the autonomous journey for me, autonomous cars, to make them more self-driving. And I think this platooning is probably a bit ahead of autonomous because it's not fully. You have a driver in the first car and then you have the others to follow. And I think Scania has done a lot of successful tests and they won some rights to test it here in Singapore and they're doing it in other markets. I do believe we will see that fairly soon. There are some implications of other traffic, two-wheelers, people jumping in, but I believe this will happen before autonomous cars for sure.
And how do companies like Telenor, particularly on the communication side, providing network, how do they make money out of IoT?
Yeah, that's the tricky part. I think we, as many other operators, I mean, Telenor set up this company, Telenor Connection, fully dedicated to IoT. So focusing also on the B2B segment where there is a willingness to pay for the connectivity. So Telenor Connection has provided managed connectivity for many years, now adding cloud layer and analytics tools, but specifically to IoT. Then I think you have to look into different markets where we also we can take a bigger role in other markets where we have mobile operations and offices. So there are different opportunities depending on the maturity, as you mentioned, Tony. So we're still testing out quite a few things.
Well, we'll be watching very closely because IoT is very hot at this event. So I think everyone's worried about it, wondering how they're going to make it work and how they're going to make money out of it.
Yeah, everyone, I heard Ericsson this morning, I think they said in 2026, 1,200 billion from IoT, where they expect operators to have 600 billions, which I think is a huge amount. Everyone talked, I think the most interesting part is the growth of it. You see the growth. In Asia it's more than 30% annual growth, which is fantastic. But it's still to be seen where is the money and willingness. Even so more in Asia, I would say.
We'll keep an eye on it. Michael, thanks very much for being with me today.
Pleasure. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being here. Thanks, Tony.